Hello YouTube, welcome to Crafty Games. Today we're going to be talking about horse guides, how to catch sea biscuit. So today we're going to be talking about how to tame, how to capture, which is taming, how to level your horses, how to get a horse that can be turned into a dream horse, Corsair, how to make it Corsair. We're going to go through everything. Items you'll need, how to train faster, best locations, so on and so forth. So, let's start with the beginning. Well, first, you need to have a horse. There's a few ways you can get a horse. There's three particular ways. A, you can turn in season rewards to get tier 8 horses. Tier 8's the horse you ideally want to get if you want to go for a dream horse. So every season, we know we get the items from doing the season pass. This season, we have the particular coins, the spring seals. So you turn 15 of those in for the horse, tier 8 horse. Another way is you can buy it off the market, which you can go to a stable and look at it that way. That's another way you can look at it. Oh, how to buy a horse. You can buy a horse that way. And the third way is taming. Now, taming is for the sheer purpose of leveling your training. So, you want to have a higher training because it gives you better opportunities to give your horse skills. And one of the most efficient ways to level your training is by taming horses. So, we're going to specifically go into taming first before we get into like Corsair, all that hoopla. So we're finding Seabiscuit. There's different locations on the map. I would definitely suggest go to a BDO Grumpy, or he has locations, or just look up horse locations for taming, and it'll give you certain locations. For me, because of this guide, I'm particularly going to be I'm doing it in Medaya, this area, this location, because I will then take this horse to Stone Tail Ranch, which is right here. So, what do we need to do when we tame? You're going to need a few items. One, and I'm going to tell you where you can get the items, how much they will be. These items are not really that expensive. One, you'll need to go to the stable, and you'll need to buy a rope. And the rope costs 1,500 silver. You need capturing rope. You can get that at any stable in the map. And then there's another item that you'll need, that after you have the horse in the reins of the rope and you're reeling that horse in, you're taming it, you're going to need to feed it. Make it your friend, because it may save your life one day. And how you feed it? You need to give it what is called lumps of sugar, which is this item right here, a lump of raw sugar. And to order to get lumps of raw sugar, you need to make it. How do you make it? Well, you'll go to any of your mom and pop shops that are cooks, anywhere in the map. You can buy these two ingredients, raw sugar. You'll need 10 to do it once. You'll need 10 raw sugar and 1 mineral water. Mineral water is only 30 silver. Raw sugar is only 20 silver per one. So in total, you'll need 230 silver for the concoction to make the lump of sugar. So how do you make the lump of sugar? You go into your processing, go to heating, click the raw sugar, you click the mineral water, you hit Y, and you start cooking. You start cooking and heating and waiting, and boom, you got raw sugar. All right, now we got raw sugar. What do we need to do? I would recommend putting these two items on your hotbar. So I put them on here. It's the easiest way. That way you don't have to go in your inventory. It'll make it most efficient. By the way, This is console once again. All my guides are going to be console for BDO. And here we go. So, we're going to get this horse. You're going to hit RB, hit A. We're going to move closely. Hopefully he don't buck us. If he bucks us, now we got to fight him. Show him who's boss. Say, I am the master here. Alright, he was no match. We keep wrestling. Keep going closer. Keep going closer. You're going to want to go to use item. Give him a lump of sugar. Then, we ride him. Now the next step to this progress is we got to turn him into a stable. And for this, we're going to go to Stone Tail Ranch. Oh, this horse is hell slow. Sheesh. I didn't realize this area is pretty cancerous. I mean, I can do that drop, but I might die. Oh man, Seabiscuit can fly apparently. Should have slid down there like a boss. Oh my days. Alright. Alright, we're gonna start heading over there. So, we already did all that. Now we can talk about a little bit as we travel, right? There's certain locations on the map I said. I would just suggest looking it up on Google. For me, I picked this particular spot in Medina because I will need to be at Stone Tail Ranch later on. So, we just showed you how to capture the horse. Now, it's tamed, but we need to bring it to any stable and turn it in. And then you need to register it. So, that's what we're doing now. Unfortunately, this horse is... I didn't think this through. I forgot that the horses are slow when they are not trained and you're taming them. So it's going to take us a little bit to get there. But while we're doing that, we can continue on. There's one thing that's important. If you notice on the screen, there's the red bar in the middle and the yellow bar. The yellow bar is the stamina. Stamina is very important. There's a few ways how you can replenish it. You can either go to a stable, pay them, and they'll replenish it, or you can feed the horse a few items. You can either give it a special carrot. You can do a high quality carrot or a normal carrot, but that's kind of worthless. Either a special carrot, or in my opinion, the best thing, this is a crafty tip, and most people will give you this tip, use carrot confit. How do you make carrot confit? Well, in a cooking guide, you'll know that I'll have up in the future. It will show you how to cook dishes and so on and so forth. So, we're just going to talk specifically on the recipe. The recipe is not very hard. The recipe is just 2 special carrots, which you can buy off the market or farm, which is also another guide. 6 mineral water, which is, remember how I said you get some of those items from the mom and pop shop. We already have the water. Just buy some more. And, unironically, you need lumps of sugar for this recipe. You need 3 lumps of sugar, 6 mineral water, 2 special carrots, 2 salt, and 4 cinnamon. The cinnamon, if you don't have a node getting the cinnamon, just buy it off the marketplace. It's very simple. It's not that expensive. You can get a bunch. The salt, also from the mom and pop shop. You gotta support your local retail. Okay? So that's the recipe. So when you're leveling the horse, the stamina will go down, the experience will go up, and this is how it gains experience for the horse. And how do you level your training? 1, by taming the horse, but 2, also when the horse levels up, you gain a certain amount of percentage experience for your training. The best way to level your training is taming horses. It is definitely faster in this way. There's a few things you can do after you have this horse tamed. You can you can sell the horse to Imperial Trade. You could put the horse on the marketplace, the horse marketplace, or you can keep the horse and use it. The only horse I would recommend ever keeping are your tier 8 horses. Any horses under that, I would sell. And if your tier 8 horse doesn't get the Corsair skills, because for whatever reason, I would get rid of that horse too. If it's past the point where you can't make it a Corsair. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the Corsair part later on, so don't get too stressed. I will go over that. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, he's talking about this Corsair, but I don't know what it is about. That's alright. We'll go over it. I'm just kind of going over the basic what you can do with the horse. Any taming horse, you'll just want to either sell on the marketplace for some... I don't know why people would buy it, but to buy, some people would buy lower horses if you don't level it so that they can level it and sell it. Or you train it to level 15, which is the most efficient thing to do because it'll give it more money when you trade it or turn it into the Imperial Trader. So when you turn it into the Imperial Trade, he'll give you Imperial coins, training coins. And you can use those for numerous of things. Now, we talked about specifically what are some ways you can train your horse. There are certain places that are the best places. Certain places we can train our horse and I'll show you in a second. So we need to register it. We're just going to give it whatever name. Alright, so I give you Wichita. Oh, the horse is already level 10. Oh, it's tier 6. Alright, so if you wanted to, you can check it in. And if you wanted to sell it on the marketplace, you just put this. Or you could just sell it. See, Tor used the Imperial Horse delivery. Yeah, it has to be 15. So you can do one of two things. You can just sell it or turn it into the Imperial Horse delivery. Or you can put it on the marketplace. Okay, so we have this. I was talking about now it's important. We're talking about the aspect of where is the best place to train your horse. There's 3 locations I personally think are the best. And one of these areas in particular is protected, so you don't have to worry about some weirdo just attacking you randomly and being a person that's really rude and ruining your day when you're AFK training your horse. But we'll go to that area last. So the first 2 areas I want to talk about is there's an area in Heidel. There's a good stretch. And the reason why is these are going to be mainly like straight narrow places is because the horse can just go quicker. It's not turning so much. And you want to do auto path, which is your left trigger and X. So I'm changing to my character because I already have them set up in the locations, and I'll show you like what it looks like when they go there. First we'll have to get on the horse. There we go. So we go into the inventory. So it's just slightly outside of Heidel. So this horse will go full speed. And it can sprint pretty well here. And you want to hit left trigger, X. And then you hit your auto path, and it will go. And there we go. We're going to start running. So we're just taking this nice long path right here. We're just going this way. And it doesn't take too long, but can see, the horse is using stamina. It's leveling experience. If you're wondering why it's not going too fast, it's because this is a tier 5 horse. It's just, like I said, level it up, sell it. You're going to want to sell it to the Imperial Trade, and it gives you good money. It's not the best money, but if you're AFK and you have the tamed horses, then hey, why not? If you have a lot of horses, another trick, if you're trying to just get the seals from Imperial Trade for whatever reason, you need particular items, which some of those items we'll go over in a second, or you just want to raise your training, AFK wise, buy a wagon and have multiple horses on your wagon. Now, this particular method, I would suggest doing only in the Duvenkroon area, Dragon. And you'll see why, because you don't want people attacking you. Now, I'm not going to show you the wagon going, but I'll show you the route. So, you guys basically can see, like, this is the route here. And so on and so forth. So this is one of the spots. And then it's going to go back, turn around, and go the other way. So this is the first spot. This is in Heidel. I'll show you again. Right here. Just boom. Boom. Hit left trigger X. There you go. So all you have to do is hit left trigger and X. Now we will go to our next one, which is over in Florin. This was a spot that I wasn't familiar with, but a guildmate recommended this particular spot in Florin. So we're going to go here. And this spot is just straight up. Very similar to this. This is the spot, if your horse has sprint, it's very good to use. This is a tier 8 horse, so leveling this horse is pretty good. You just want to go boom. You basically, it can work in any real spots on the map, really, that if it's a straight place where your horse just goes straight, you just don't want your horse really making too many turns and stuff because it will slow down quite a bit. That's the biggest problem when you're doing this. When you're AFK training your horse, you just want it to go back and forth as smooth as possible, just like butter, and so it can turn back. The only turning it needs to do is when it turns around to go the other way. And that's the most efficient way to level up the horse. This is the same method you'll want to do when you're leveling your Corsair to 30. Now there's a few tricks when we get to the Corsair part that I'm going to talk about that you should be aware of. Now, if you're trying to just level up your horse as fast as possible, there's a few items you're going to want. You can use Corsair Aura. Then we also have, I don't have all the items here on this particular character, but the other items is the Celerity Drought, Lara's Herbal Tea, the tea from Lara. It's an event item. You'll want your Logia or Manos accessories that you have, and I would recommend having even just a tier, even the basic one of the training silver embroidered training outfit. It gives you a lot of experience. I have a +2, so it gives me like 20 experience plus for mounts. And so this was the route for the Florin. Pretty good, very simple. Now we're going to go to the route that I said earlier. Remember, I said is protected. This is the one in Dragon, or Duvenkroon, if you want to say. And the reason why I recommend this area for specifically also the wagon, this area, no one will hit you because you're in a safe zone. That's sometimes the problem, is there will be those little people, usually shies hiding in bushes, and they'll just shoot you with a hunter musket, and then your horse stops. So we're there. We're just going to want to go right here. You can make it a little shorter. If you go too far, it will be in combat area, but You can, like I said, make it shorter so you're in the safe zone the whole time. And this is the area you want to do the wagon. You kind of want to make it next to the stable if you're using the wagon, because you want it for sure always in the safe zone. And I don't have any horse I'm going to turn into the Imperial delivery person for the horse. So I'm obviously not able to do that part. But you just go to any of the Imperial delivery horse people and you turn in the horse there. And he'll give you a good amount of money. It's very worth it, especially if you're trying to get mats for your Corsair horse. So the Imperial coins you get from it are, how many you get is based on the tier of the horse. So if it's a tier 7 horse, you'll get 7. If it's a tier 5, you'll get 5. So that's what determines how many coins you get. This is very important because those mats is what you're going to need to ultimately turn your horse into a Corsair. So now we're going to get into the spot, specifically talking about the Corsair. We talked a bit about training, we talked a bit about taming. Now we're going to talk about the meaty gritty part of this guide. What you do when you have your Corsair tier 8 horse, or how to get it to Corsair. So horses can get Corsair, but the only horse that can go to a dream horse, if you see that fire horse, which is a doom horse, or a horse with wings, which is Pegasus, or another horse, there's a dream horse, which is a unicorn. The only way to get that is through a tier 8 horse that is now Corsair. So, some basics about a Corsair horse. Corsair horse needs to hit certain skills. There are certain skills that the horse needs to meet to order to be a Corsair. So for just now, which is charge, drift, sprint, instant excel sideways, and S instant excel, and S sideways. So your horse needs these skills to have learned to order to attempt it to make it a dream horse or a tier 9 horse to upgrade to the next horse. So we talked about what the horse needs to have. We talked about the leveling. An item that you will need if your horse is just not learning skills, if you think you have the opportunity to gain it to Corsair, you can do a few things. If you hit a certain point, which is 15 to 20, is when you'll want to start doing this. If your horse hits level 15 and it has like 4 or 5 Corsair skills, or you are feeling lucky and you could probably do it at 3 if you have enough, is you're going to want to start rolling skills with mount skill change. So there's 2 types. There's the one where you can select, and there's the mount skill change. It has a chance to not gain the skill, but if it doesn't get the Corsair skill that you want, you don't lose your stack until it learns that skill that you picked. You'll just simply, if you want to, have it change that skill. You go to the stable, you go over here where it says manage skills, and it will say unlearned skills. You just click the skill, and you put the desired skill, and then you tap it. Once it hits 30 as a Corsair or a tier 8 horse, it cannot learn any skills anymore. So basically, if your horse hits 30, it didn't learn all the skills, you just basically want to sell that horse, or you can keep it because it won't be slow. It'll be definitely better than anything under tier 8. So I guess you can keep it for like a side character if you want. But otherwise, you're better off just selling it or whatever. So that's how you change those skills. Now we're going to get into the part that you all want to hear about. We talked about how to train. I would recommend to start this process of changing those skills at 15 to 20, depending on how you feel. 20 is better because you can do it multiple times, but every time you level up, use it. If you get to a certain point where you need to use more, then do it. But remember, that does cost money. I had all mine saved up, so I was fine to do it. Or you can do another thing. You can not level that horse up anymore until you have enough coins and just use other horses. And then once you do, then continue trying to get a Corsair if that's what you want to do, if that's the path you want to take. So now, there are some items you will need to have to order to level your Corsair horse in the training process. And we're going to talk about those items right now. So, there's things that you'll need when you are going for your dream horse. And there are these: the deep blue hoof root, the breezy conch seaweed, rainbow gem fruit, pure forest breath, spirit pouch of ferocious beast, stonetail fodder, mysterious blue conch, fruit of Unarios, and then you have brilliant crimson fire flower. So these three right here, the mysterious blue conch, the fruit of Unaros, and the crimson fire flower, you can only get those from doing your spirit board, or you get those from the login rewards or Corsair training boxes. That's the only way you can get these. Now, these mats, however, you can get those a different way. So you can get those also from the boxes. But this one particular, the blue hoof root, you can get this from gathering. Any type of gathering activity, whether it be hunting, gathering weeds or stone or whatever, you can get this item. So that's also another way. Or you can turn in those the seals from the Imperial Trade to get this. The conch seaweed, you get that by fishing, is a way you can get it. The gem fruit, I'm not 100% sure. I've only ever gotten this from boxes. There's probably a way, but I'm not 100% sure how. The pure forest breath, you get this from grinding mobs in Camisilius. So you can get this from Raunos's, Polly's Forest, Novin Step. I've gotten it from the Ferdor. So you get this from, you can get this drop from grinding those areas. I'll show you those areas real quick. So it's over in this area, so you can get it from here, here, here. Basically, if you hit A on it, you'll see. It's right here, so you can get this from here. Any of those areas, it'll be in Camisylva, you'll be able to get that drop. Now, the spirit pouch of the ferocious beast, you get this from when you're farming, which will be a guide. I'm not going to go into it. While you're farming, there will be these little guys that come up, moles. They want your food. Anyway, when you kill them and you get rid of them, they will drop these sometimes. Usually a couple. That's how you get those. Now, stonetail fodder is a byproduct from farming when you are breeding your plants. And then you turn those in for stonetail fodder. And when I do farming guide, this will be explained, where to turn them in, so on and so forth. But this is a horse guide. We're just talking about how you can get those. Now, there's one more item you're going to need when you're trying to go for Corsair. One is the Swaying Wind Shard, Rumbling Earth Shard. So why are these important? Because you will process them, which I'll show you in a second, in Simple Alchemy, to get the Krogdolo's Origin Stone, which you need to try and attempt your dream horse. Another item you'll want is Cronstones. Why Cronstones? Because it will make it so after your first attempt for the Corsair, or the dream horse, you only have to put you will now be able to put less of those mats into it to get the dream horse attempt. So the cronstones prevent you from having to put a lot more stuff in, so it saves you a lot. So we're gonna make this real quick, the Krogju's origin stone. So I'm gonna show you how. You just go to processing. You're gonna go to simple alchemy. Boom. You need 25 of each. You can get these also by grinding Chemisilia region, just where you would get the pure forest breath. Or you can buy them from the marketplace. You can buy the origin stone also from the marketplace. So now that we showed how you get that, we have all those items. Now it gets to the fun part. Normally people do hit dream horses early sometimes, but typically it will take 20 to 30 attempts. Is usually how many it takes. So depending on what type of horse you want, depends on what you want to put in. Now, just because you put a certain thing in, say you want your doom horse, which would be this stuff, you would want to put more strength in, doesn't mean it's going to be a doom horse. There's still a chance it can come out a different horse, even though you put mainly the stuff for doom horse. So keep that in mind. So this is the first time I ever attempting a dream horse. And so each, you need to get it to 200%. Alright. So obviously because my percentages is going to be in skill, I believe skill is Pegasus. Strength is the Doom Horse, and Elegance is the Unicorn Horse. So now that we got our 200%, we attempt. Yes. So now we're going to see if we get it. Ah, we failed. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Alright. Let's attempt number 2. Alright. Now we only have to, we can put less. So now we only need 50. So now it's 100% Dream Horse. Alright, let's attempt it. If we need more, I can always buy some more origin stones. But this is your first try to see. We failed again. That's alright. This is first time ever trying to go for a Dream Horse. So. And you're getting it live on my stream. This will be a YouTube video. It might be a little longer because I want to go attempt-wise. Failed. Alright, that's okay. There are certain people who are watching this. They know. Oh, flip, I actually messed up. I forgot to use my cronstones. See? Don't make the same mistake. Luckily, I have a ton. It should just let you keep the cronstones going, but I'm not too worried. Luckily, I have a lot of mats, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, actually, I'm gonna start skipping that animation. So, yeah, I was talking about certain people. There are certain people that know who I'm talking about that will watch this, that you guys are just lucky, and it will just go super early. Some people, like myself, aren't so fortunate, and it takes a lot to get the horse. to what we want. Alright. Oof. This is getting dicey. Just kidding. We're okay. This is actually kind of... I don't use my cronstone, so I have no problem. Alright. Here we go. We're on 6 attempts already. This is wonderful. Oh! Gore, sock it. I got the dream horse. This is a doom horse. So if anyone's wondering, this is what the doom horse looks like. Hallelujah. Finally some good RNG. Yesterday I failed like a billion times from Pry to Duo on the helmet piece for Tavalla. So there you go, guys. Let's take out our nice new horse and show it around town. Woohoo! Oh yeah. This actually made me pretty happy. Alright, so thank you guys for following along. I hope this helped you a lot. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I can maybe go more in depth or bring it up in another video or talk about it in the comment section. Please leave a like, follow, subscribe. We stream on Twitch at Crafty Games. We have YouTube videos coming up. I have a lot of content planned for the future. And just growing, sending out content. Appreciate everyone who's supporting me. Every follow, every subscriber, every viewer is important. I appreciate it a lot. Thank everyone. And thanks the guild, Ravensguard, for supporting me, giving me ideas, asking questions, asking if I would make a video on certain things. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Dream Horse, Doom, out.